Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a story that seems, well, deceptively simple. A fable, if you will. Yet its punch echoes through history and remains incredibly relevant today. We're diving deep into a truly fascinating piece of literature brought to us by you, our listener, through excerpts from Animal Farm, a fable of corrupted revolution. Our mission today is to really distill the most impactful insights from this powerful narrative. We'll explore how noble ideas born from this yearning for equality can take a really dark, twisted turn. The genius of Animal Farm isn't just in its allegory, but in how it meticulously shows the process of corruption. It's quite something. So our story begins on Manor Farm. It's this place where the animals endured a really harsh life under the cruel and frankly utterly careless farmer, Mr. Jones. Just picture their daily existence. Constant hunger, relentless labor, and this pervasive sense of neglect. It's a stark picture of oppression, really. Then enters Old Major, the revered, wise old pig. He gathers the animals, shares this extraordinary dream, a vision of a world where animals are free, unburdened by human tyranny. He articulates a philosophy he calls animalism, based on equality, and teaches them Beasts of England, which is this stirring anthem of liberation. What a powerful moment for them.
It truly is. And Old Major's brilliance, it isn't just the vision itself, but how he articulated it. It tapped into something universal, didn't it? Dignity, autonomy.
Definitely.
But, that initial spark, however pure or unifying, it often contains the seeds of its own downfall if it's not carefully safeguarded against the pull of power.
Ah, right.
It's an idealistic blueprint, sure, but one without an immediate mechanism for its own protection, you see.
That makes sense. And that revolutionary spark, well, it didn't die with Old Major. It flared up almost immediately after he passed.
Right.
Just a few days later, Mr. Jones's neglect finally pushed the animals past their breaking point. He forgot to feed them.
And that's often how it happens, isn't it? That mix of a clear vision and an immediate pressing crisis, it ignites the tinderbox.
Yeah.
And how they responded to Jones's failure is key. It was collective, a moment of pure, unified agency. They just took their freedom.
They did. They expelled him. And Manor Farm was triumphantly rebranded as Animal Farm, a powerful symbol of their newfound freedom and this promise of a truly egalitarian society. And being the most intelligent, the pigs, Snowball, Napoleon, and Squealer, they sort of naturally assumed leadership roles. And right there on the barn wall, they painted the 7 commandments, the guiding principles of animalism, with that fundamental declaration: all animals are equal. The early days were filled with genuine hope, weren't they? You could feel it.
Absolutely.
The animals worked with this fierce pride, holding weekly meetings, singing Beasts of England, even creating their own flag.
Yeah.
Snowball, ever the idealist, even proposed building a windmill, to lighten their labor and bring electricity to the farm. It really felt like a utopia taking shape.
It did. And that initial burst of collective enthusiasm, this utopian vision born from shared grievance, that really defines the revolution's early promise. The 7 commandments, they represented a foundational constitution, a clear intent to build a just and equitable system. Yet, even then, beneath that visible unity, you can already sort of discern subtle power dynamics at play. Like, why were the pigs the only ones writing the commandments?
That's a really good point. And it's precisely there, isn't it, where the cracks began to show. That harmony, it didn't last. Snowball and Napoleon, the 2 prominent pig leaders, they started clashing more and more, particularly over that ambitious windmill project.
The windmill became the flashpoint.
Exactly. And then came the shocking turning point. During a heated debate about the windmill, Napoleon unleashed 9 vicious dogs he'd secretly raised.
Oh, the dogs, yeah.
They chased Snowball right off the farm, forever. With his rival violently expelled, Napoleon immediately seized absolute control. It was brutal, a decisive shift.
It truly was. And what's crucial here, you see, it's not just a change in leadership. It's a fundamental redefinition of power itself.
How so?
Well, Napoleon doesn't win a debate. He abolishes the very mechanism of debate. He uses force. This isn't just about consolidating power. It's about shifting from any kind of collective decision-making to a singular enforced will. That act, it sends an undeniable message to the other animals. Dissent won't be tolerated. Force trumps logic.
And fear becomes the main tool. Immediately, Napoleon ended those weekly meetings, effectively silencing the animals' voices entirely. And almost imperceptibly at first, the pigs started enjoying small luxuries, like the milk and apples, which were suddenly set aside just for them.
The beginnings of inequality right there.
And this is where Squealer, the most persuasive of the pigs, became Napoleon's indispensable architect of truth. if you can call it that.
Propagandist in chief.
Totally. He didn't just lie. He mastered the art of psychological manipulation,
Mm-hmm.
constantly repeating that insidious question. You don't want Mr. Jones back, do you?
That line is so powerful.
It effectively short-circuited any critical thought the animals might have had.
Yes, Squealer's power wasn't just rhetoric, it was exploiting their cognitive biases, their trauma of Jones. He skillfully gaslighted them.
Gaslighted, exactly.
Subtly undermining their ability to trust their own memory, their own senses, their own past experiences. He didn't just control information, he manufactured their reality, turning fear into compliance. It's chilling.
And despite working harder than ever, often on reduced rations, the animals frequently went hungry. Meanwhile, the pigs' privileges just escalated. They moved into the farmhouse, began wearing clothes, even started drinking alcohol. And those 7 commandments, they were altered little by little, becoming unrecognizable. And whenever an animal even suspected a change, Squealer was right there, ready with clever words and fabricated statistics to explain why their memory was faulty.
Always an explanation, always making them feel wrong.
Napoleon solidified his control through outright terror, too. He skillfully orchestrated this campaign of demonization against the exiled Snowball, blaming every single setback on him, labeling him a traitor, a saboteur.
The perfect scapegoat. Always need one.
The atmosphere became terrifyingly oppressive when animals accused of conspiring with Snowball were brutally executed in front of everyone.
Public executions. Fear as policy.
Then the windmill, finally built with immense effort, it collapses in a storm. And predictably, Napoleon immediately pins the blame on Snowball, forcing the exhausted animals to rebuild it all over again.
It's a chilling illustration of how societies can unravel when truth becomes fluid, when a shared enemy is manufactured.
Yeah.
Blaming an absent scapegoat like Snowball, it's such a powerful psychological tactic. It deflects responsibility from the leadership, unifies people against an external threat, and crucially consolidates internal power.
Right.
And it creates this environment where questioning the official narrative becomes dangerous. It's an act of self-preservation not to question it.
One of the most heartbreaking parts of the story for me was the fate of Boxer, the strong, incredibly loyal cart horse.
Ah, Boxer.
Boxer was the embodiment of selfless dedication to the revolution, living by his mottos, "I will work harder," and Napoleon is always right. Just unwavering faith.
Tragic faith in retrospect.
But when he became injured, couldn't work anymore, his heartbreaking fate revealed the true, cold nature of the regime. Napoleon, without hesitation, sold him to a glue factory.
He's just discarded.
The animals were devastated when they finally realized the betrayal, though Squealer, ever the manipulator, delivered this crafted lie that Boxer had died peacefully in a hospital, praised by Napoleon.
What's profoundly striking here is the complete and utter exploitation and, ultimate betrayal of the most dedicated, trusting follower.
Exactly.
Boxley represents that honest, hardworking citizen who trusts the system implicitly, only to be discarded, even profited from, when no longer useful. It's such a stark illustration of how totalitarian regimes consume their most loyal resources. It highlights the disposable nature of the common worker once their utility runs out.
It's just brutal. Years passed. The animals could barely remember the days before the revolution, before all the insidious changes. Memory fades.
Or is made to fade.
Right. The commandments had been altered again and again until only one grotesque truth remained etched on that barn wall. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
The ultimate perversion of the original ideal.
Eventually, the pigs began walking on 2 legs, adopting all the habits of the humans they had once overthrown. They even invited human farmers to visit the farm, which was just shocking for the other animals to see.
The cycle completes itself.
And so the ultimate betrayal reaches its climax. The other animals, they peer through the farmhouse window and they see pigs and men sitting together laughing, playing cards, and the chilling revelation. They look from pig to man and man to pig, but they can't tell which is which.
And this brings us to the profound, tragic end of the animal farm dream. The farm is still ruled by tyrants, only now they wear a different face. Pigs instead of Jones. The ideals of equality and freedom have been utterly betrayed, showing how noble ideas can be corrupted by unchecked power. The unsettling truth, really, is that tyranny, regardless of who wields it, often manifests with the same oppressive characteristics. The form may change, but the nature of the beast remains.
What a journey through Animal Farm. We've seen how a noble vision for equality can twist into ruthless oppression, how persuasive words can hide brutal truths, and how unwavering trust can be so devastatingly betrayed. It's a stark illustration of how insidiously power can corrupt even the purest intentions.
It really is. And this compels us to consider, maybe for you, our listener, given what we've unpacked about Animal Farm's evolution, how might these patterns of power consolidation, propaganda, and control manifest? Perhaps in different, more subtle forms in our own societies today.
That's the question, isn't it?
Where do we see the whispers of squealer or the quiet, creeping changes to foundational principles around us?
Consider this final thought. If the animals couldn't tell pig from man in the end, what does that really say about the nature of tyranny itself? Does it suggest that the oppressor's identity, pig, human, whatever, matters less than the oppressive system they perpetuate? Something to mull on, don't you think?